For the team at Henke Agricultural Contractors, maize harvesting is one of the most labour-intensive times of the year. Not only because of the harvesting work itself, but also because many of their other services, such as fertilisation, sowing, cultivation and potato harvesting, are running in parallel. We've produced 2 more short films to show you the work of this diverse agricultural contracting business. In the first story, we focus on maize harvesting. In 2020, Henke Agricultural Contractors tackled the maize harvest with 10 forage harvesters. The youngest harvester among them is this 650 horsepower Fendt Katana 650. At the time of filming, this was one of the first machines from the next generation of Fendt choppers to be seen in action. After a demonstration of the revamped Katana, Henke was immediately impressed by it and signed up for one for autumn straight away. No great surprise, considering they've had such a positive experience with the Katana 85 that's been in the fleet since 2015. Team member Patrick completed an apprenticeship in professional agricultural services at Henke, and today he's assigned to the Katana. At Henke, they tend to make a point of using designated drivers for their forage harvesters. In addition to driving the chopper, Patrick is also responsible for a lot of the organisational tasks related to each job. This includes maintenance work, helping with repairs, and preparing the harvesters for storage over winter. One of the new features of the 650 is its method of processing harvested material. The disc cracker on the previous generation wasn't always the best choice, depending on the conditions. The new, so-called RS roller cracker now copes well with longer cutting lengths and is much better at tearing up the material. An employee from the Schroeder farm machinery dealership is here to assist during the machine's first few days in operation and to provide advice and support. They also look after Henke's other Fendt harvesters. The Katana will now enable Henke to offer its customers a chopping and mulching service all in one go. This stems from a need to tackle European corn borers. The insect can cause serious damage to maize, and its larvae use maize stubble as a safe harbour until the next season. The special 8-row maize header by Kemper is equipped with an integrated topper that shreds the maize stubble before it's flattened by the tractor and harvester tyres. This significantly improves the end result compared to driving over with a separate mulcher. According to the manufacturer, the forage harvester's header only utilises around 4 horsepower per row. From both Henke's and the customer's point of view, a 10-row or even 12-row header would certainly be an interesting proposition. But the manufacturer is not quite there yet. Let's move on now to the next chopper and 2 of the agricultural contractors' veteran employees. Team member Frank is a trained mechanic and has been employed by Henke Agricultural Contractors for 20 years. 12 years ago, he tackled the maize harvest with this Claas Jaguar 980 for the first time, and the NDR television network came to film him in action. Due to the extensive coverage received by the story, Frank has even been recognised on 1 or 2 works outings. For the past 12 years, this 980 has been Frank's permanent place of work. The Jaguar also has him to thank for its motivational 990 sticker on the right side panel. But the harvester is certainly not lacking in performance. Claas was building in 2 Mercedes-Benz engines back then, each with a 12.8 litre cylinder capacity, supplying a total of up to 860 horsepower. The team is carting with Trident trailers, which have been a good asset to the harvesting logistics. Henke Agricultural Contractors have a total of 40 silage trailers in their fleet, although a few of those have tandem chassis. During their lunch break, the team has a few minutes rest, and Antje Henke has chance to fill up the class. Antje is currently studying teaching, but also helps out on the maize harvest when she can. Organise lunch for the crew. On this job, they're harvesting for a medium-sized biogas plant. The customer has around 300 hectares of maize. They take care of compacting the silo themselves. Farmers help out with their own vehicles on virtually all the maize harvesting jobs. They often join the carting team using Henke's trailers, or they're on the silo, as in this case. Team member Daniel is driving the Fendt 936 Vario with a Krone TX today. Along with 6 other teammates, his maize season started off a little differently in 2020. The team from Henke Agricultural Contractors helped out another contractor with harvesting for a large biogas plant. Daniel captured these images with his drone. Henke sent off his Katana 85 and several tractors and trailers to help with the job. It was a special assignment for which he quickly found volunteers. As is so often the case with maize harvesting, it's ultimately a team effort, requiring trust within the team and from the boss. Now back to Lower Saxony and to Frank with his Jaguar 980. This big cat has harvested around 14,000 hectares, mostly maize, during its 12 years for Henke Agricultural Contractors. A few repairs have been necessary over the years, of course, but the chopper has always proven itself to be reliable and powerful. That the business has been able to run a harvester successfully for such a long time also comes down to having good, careful drivers. Nevertheless, 2020 was the last season for this chopper under the Henke banner. With a heavy heart, Frank has to part with his 980. We're excited to see what will replace it in next season's fleet. In the first and second short films, we reported on the 50th anniversary of Henke Agricultural Contractors and the business's history. Maize harvesting has kept the Henke family business busy almost since the beginning. The family's first self-propelled forage harvester, an SF2000, was bought in 1975. Shortly after, they added a Claas Jaguar 60. With farming playing an increasingly important role in the production of renewable energy in the early 2000s, the demand for maize harvesting and the acreage to be chopped rose by approximately a third for Henke. They needed to bring in more power, so in 2003 they bought a 780 horsepower Krone BiG X V12. And it wasn't to be the only Krone chopper they'd buy over the years. They actually have several BiG X's in the fleet these days. Team member Marius is raring to go with the most powerful series-built harvester in the world. Between jobs, every spare minute is used for maintenance, smaller repairs, and cleaning work. As with all the jobs the forage harvesters have completed to date, the next one will be documented in precise detail using telemetry data. For Alina, who's responsible for much of the fleet scheduling work along with her father, smart farming solutions are a great help in organising each job as accurately as possible. The business also provides digital services such as yield mapping for many of their farming customers, including for maize harvesting. Meanwhile, in the office next door, the youngest of Henke's sons is already preparing for the upcoming harvesting seasons. If you're wondering which machines will deliver the best performance, 7-year-old Jonas will tell you exactly. Marius, in the meantime, who has worked for Henke for 10 years, is out on the field with his 1180. This Big X, with its 101,056 horsepower, 24.2-litre Liebherr engine, is without a doubt still the most powerful forage harvester in the world. The 12-row header harvests 9 metres of maize in one pass. There's even a 14-row header available from the manufacturer, but transporting the giant harvester by road would only be possible in limited cases. The extra power is even noticeable when you compare it to the 1100s in the fleet. It's entirely possible for this forage harvester to gather 2,000 tons of material a day. But of course, such a high level of output all depends on the field logistics and how much driving around there is for the rest of the crew. It's also contingent on the roller tractor drivers on the silo, because ultimately they too are responsible for ensuring the optimum conditions are achieved for preserving the field. On this job, 2 agro trucks have been incorporated into the carting fleet. We've seen the 440 horsepower manned trucks before, during slurry spreading in the first short film. This combination of a Volvo and a Bergmann semi-trailer is not part of the Henke fleet, it's a prototype that's currently being tested out. An exciting day of filming with Henke Agricultural Contractors is coming to an end. Part 4 is coming up soon and will be jam-packed with a whole host of other jobs keeping the agricultural contractors busy in autumn. This includes potato and grain maize harvesting. If you'd like to see more from the world of farming and farm machinery, why not visit our on-demand video site, www.farmworld.tv.